bleep is going on in Portland?
This one has so many moving parts, and it's not just about Portland, Oregon. It also involves California, Texas, and Illinois. So I'm going to walk you through it, but just give me a second. So on Sunday night, a district judge in Oregon, who President Trump had appointed, ruled against him and the federal deployment of the National Guard in Oregon for the second time in just 2 days. Now, a week ago, the president had deployed about 200 National Guard troops from Oregon and moved them into Portland, saying that they were needed there to protect federal officials and federal property. 4 weeks ago, a different judge had ruled that President Trump's deployment of the California National Guard in Los Angeles was illegal. And then right after that, the president had said that he was going to move some of those 4,000 National Guard troops in California to other places like DC and Chicago. Now, the president and War Secretary Hegseth have both said that multiple cities across the country should expect these troop deployments. They just haven't said exactly where and when. The latest deployments, they were all against the governors of Illinois, of Oregon, of California, because they all said that the troops were not wanted and they weren't needed. Now, that actually kind of raises concerns about whether the president is breaking federal law by violating the Posse Comitatus Act, which bans any federal troops from being used as law enforcement on U.S. soil. But that's like a really big separate thing, so I'm going to do a separate video on that. Now, on Friday, the Justice Department had argued that the troops are needed in Portland, and they used the president's social media post from last week as evidence, where the president wrote that he was sending troops to war-ravaged Portland, authorized full force to deal with domestic terrorists. But the judge said that the social media post doesn't really cut it as evidence, and said that the protests in Portland aren't as big or violent or disruptive as the president was making them out to be.
Portland is burning to the ground. It's insurrectionists all over the place. It's Antifa, and yet the politicians who are petrified.
Contrary to President Trump's latest social media post, Portland is not war-ravaged. There's no insurrection. There's no threat to national security, and there's no need for military troops.
Now, after the judge had ruled on Saturday that the president couldn't deploy the Oregon National Guard to Portland, the Trump administration then moved to deploy hundreds of National Guard troops from California and Texas into Portland instead of the Oregon National Guard, because the judge said the Oregon National Guard couldn't be sent. On Sunday, the same judge then called an emergency hearing, saying that the president was trying to circumvent her order. So she went further to block the president from deploying any troops from any state in Oregon. Now, at the same time, the president also moved to deploy hundreds of Guards troops from California and Texas to Illinois in Chicago. And Illinois' Governor Pritzker, said there is no crisis in Chicago, and the president was trying to create one.
They are the ones that are making it a war zone. They need to get out of Chicago.
On Sunday, Texas Governor Abbott posted on social media that he had given the president the green light to call up Texas National Guard troops, 400 of them, and writing seemingly to Governor Pritzker in Illinois, get out of the way and let Texas Guard do it. Now, the temporary block in Oregon is in effect through October 19th while it works its way through the courts. It does not impact the deployment of any troops outside of Oregon to places like Chicago and DC. Now, the White House has already filed a notice that they plan to file an appeal for that judge's ruling. Hope that helps. I'm Lena, your news anchor bestie. You can follow me if you care about this stuff.